Hello everyone. I wanted to make a video today to go over League of Legends. There's a lot of stuff going on right now that's supposed to be aimed at making it more beginner friendly. Excuse me. And a lot of people are they're put off by League, and I can understand that. So I just want to go over some pivotal points today, kind of talk about why it might actually get changed for the better in terms of making it more new user friendly, and yeah, I just cover a couple topics, and then it might make it a little bit more clear to someone who's either tried League and had a bad time, or to someone who's new to League. So, if you don't know me, I'm Morgan, also known as Captain Morgan. It was my nickname before I ever even knew what it was, and I just started doing review videos to go over a couple things with people because I'm a bit more blunt and honest about how I feel about games and then the facts about them. So let's get right into it. So with League, a huge issue with it is there's a huge learning curve. You wouldn't think that maybe by initially looking at it, but there is a massive learning curve, and it really puts a lot of people off. Even though they've implemented a lot of things like bot matches and co-op versus UI and different custom versions, different custom games, ARAM, stuff like that, to try to be more friendly towards new users. There's a huge issue in the League community with smurfing. Now, what that is when someone who has played the game a lot and maybe doesn't want as much of a challenge anymore, they make a new account and they play on that. And with League, there's not like a lot of gear or ruins or anything that carries over, or that they wouldn't have on that new account. They can just play that new account and they're set. It's literally becomes a skill match. And when someone's brand new to the game, and then there's someone else that's been playing for 4 years and is extremely experienced, the new person's not gonna have a good time. It's gonna be awful. Um, so that's a huge issue that Riot, creators of League, has been they've been working on it for a while, trying to figure out what to do. But recently, they have actually stated that they believe they found a way to implement an algorithm that will be able to detect a Smurf player. I'm not sure on the details of that, but I know that it looks promising because they've never announced that before, that they think that they've found a way to actually deal with it. They always say that they're trying to find a way to deal with it. So, I mean, that's a great thing that might be happening soon. Um, so, the whole point of this video for me was to try to show people, kind of help them understand League if they're starting out, and to help people who have tried League once or twice and had a really bad time. Best thing I could say is League, it's all about 50-50. So either you're going to have, a crappy match, or you're going to have a really good match. And you got to play for those really good matches. Don't get me wrong, there's 1 in 50 matches where it's just going to be insanely close the whole time, back and forth, and you live for those matches. Those are the really fun ones. But most of the time, it's you beat the hell out of your enemy laner, or your team just beating the hell out of the enemy team the whole time and they surrender 20. Or the other way around, where everyone on your team's just getting their ass beat and you guys give up 20 minutes. That's just, unfortunately, that's what League has become. That's not what it used to be, and that's what it is. But it's understandable. They want it to be faster. They want it to not be like, it used to be like 40, 50, 60-minute matches. There's one match I was in for 93 minutes. That's insane. That's way too long for League. So I get what they're going for. They're trying to make it to where it's faster. You have an earlier option to surrender than you used to. If things are going poorly, just reset, go to the next game. Something else I'll say, if you're just starting out on League, do a little research. I know it sounds silly to research a game before you've ever even played it in terms of playing it, but look up champions that are easier to start out with. Like Annie is a really good champion to start out with. Cho'Gath is a really good champion to start out with. Morgana. They're simple. They're point click for the most part, but they'll teach you fundamentals and they're really strong. So that's a good thing to do. And then MOBA Fire is what a lot of people use, but you go look up a build. Now that's before I put it in your head. That's not what you should do in terms of items. MOBA Fire gives you the idea of what you want to build on champions, but when you get more experience in the game, you'll understand that you actually want to understand what the enemy team is and what they're building and what you need to build around that. I'm sorry about that. An alarm go off. So, and yes, it crowing chickens, but it's meant to be very annoying to wake me up. Um, so to move further into that, I would say do like 20 to 30 matches before you decide, hey, I hate this game. I don't want to play it. I know that sounds like a lot, but I mean, it's really not that much. It's just for League, it's a solid chance, is what it is, because you're gonna have, you could have up to 5, 10, sometimes if you're super unlucky, 15 or really bad matches in a row. But it comes full circle. It always does. You always end up on the uptake, especially if you're after each match. Taking a second to think, to breathe, to calm down, and to understand, what you could have done differently, how you could have played differently, what the enemy team did that won, what your team did that made you guys lose. Sounds silly, but it's a strategy game. It really is. I know that a lot of people don't see it that way because it's not like chess or something, but it's a strategy game. Um, I mean, realistically, another thing you could do is if you find like an easy champion or a champion in general that you really like, go watch Pro Player. Literally, just type in League of Legends season, whatever season it is, 10 right now. Season 10, Pro Nautilus, Pro Morgana, whatever. Pro for that champion, so that you can watch what they do and try to not necessarily replicate it, because you can't just replicate what they do. One, the pros. They're really hard to replicate in general. Two, it's not going to apply the same way in your game. No two games are ever alike in League. That's, I mean, part of the draw. That's why so many people play it. Every single game is going to be different. But it will help you get an understanding of the champion, the items, what they do, why they play the way they do, vision and objective control, stuff like that. It'd be super helpful to watch them. It's what a lot of people do. Just don't do what other people do and try to replicate exactly what they do. One, that's boring. You don't want to just copy people entirely. But two, you're gonna lose a lot. That's You can't just replicate what they do. But I would say just give it some more chances. They're working on it in terms of they're trying to make smurfing a thing of the past, so that new players play with new players, and that's it. Because that's been the big issue. Say new player comes in, they're level 10, they're fighting another level 10, but that other level 10 is actually a level 300 that's been playing on his other account. He's a diamond player, and he just kicks the shit out of you. No one's gonna have fun with that. It'd be It's like playing against bots at that point. Honestly, I don't understand the appeal to it. But regardless, just give it some more chances. They are working on it. Um, Pay attention to the meta would be my other thing. If you're in love with a champion, keep playing them. But if they drop to like C tier, I would probably pick up a new champion for a while until they buff them. The meta is a pretty important thing in this game. Um, A tier, B tier, I'd say that if you're skilled with them, they're perfectly fine to play still. S tier is obviously people you just pick up and learn them real quick, and they're strong as hell. But C tier means that they're basically really underpowered, and they're going to struggle against anyone in S tier, even if you're far more skilled than your opponent. So meta is a good thing to actually pay attention to, as sad as that is. And honestly, the best thing you can do besides giving it another chance is if you went in and people were just toxic assholes, go ahead and one, mute all, even if they're on your team. There's literally buttons in the game. If you go to your settings, literally can go in, you can mute all enemies, turn off all chat, and you can mute all your teammates. Um, I keep on pings when I do that so that they can ping me and tell me what's going on if they need to. But if everybody's being toxic, mute them all. You're going to play far better that way and you won't get all pissed off. And that is the biggest thing with toxic people. I will say League is way less toxic than it used to be, but there's still plenty of people that are trolling douches. Mute them all, report them after the game, you'll feel better, take a breather, you're good to go to your next game. Excuse me. So, I mean, with that, that's really about it. Pivotal points would be play easier champs to learn the game, keep giving it some chances. They're working on getting rid of smurfing. Do a little bit of research, mute people if they're being toxic as hell, take a breather, and go over what's going on in the game if you're losing in your head. And I mean, really, that's it. It's a super unique strategy game that, I mean, no one's really replicated 100%. There's a lot of games similar to it that have their own unique flair to them that makes them appealing. But for League, it's every single scenario is different. And it's pretty entertaining, especially if you get someone that is close to your skill level and you actually have to really be strategic when you play against them. I mean, overall, it's a really fun game. So I hope that this helped you and that you give League another chance if you have already tried it and gave up. Or if you're new to League, I hope this kind of inspired you to give it a shot. Thanks for watching. If you want to watch a stream of mine, I am on Twitch, CBT Morgan 1991 /Twitch. I think that's what it is. I'm also on Twitter, CBT Morgan 1116 1991 or CBT Morgan 1991. Subscribe, follow, whatever you want to do. I'll be doing more review videos. Thank you.